and
Where does he go to school?
at Las Canitas School and Elementary, and we have to walk up the road to get to the bus stop. And they have early start and late start, so we have to do it twice a day in the morning, and then they take the bus home twice a week in the afternoons.
Just give me a better reference. Let me pull this up on a map so I can see what you're talking about.
So we're at the corner of Alpine and Wildwood.
Okay.
The interesting thing about that neighborhood as well is that it was a hippie commune in the 60s. So there was a lot of, the worldwide catalog, the whole Earth catalog, was...
This is in Menlo Park.
Yes,
Right.
unincorporated Menlo Park.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
So it was very quiet.
That's right.
yeah, and so we're right behind the Stanford Golf Course, and it's basically a small area, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that is not...
Like one or two streets.
That's not owned by Stanford. And so we have to walk up the road, you wanna show where our bus stop is, to Bishop Lane is where we walk. And so when the hospital was doing a lot of their construction, I mean,
Yeah.
we had major trucks that are going through speeding. We did a lot of work within the neighborhood.
That was not the case before the construction. So before the construction, there were no trucks, and we would call, and the police would come in and just block them out, and there would be like every once in a while. But now we see like 2-3 semi trucks going at much faster than the 35 that is allowed in a one lane road, and with kids on the side and all of that. So and there was the path is being fixed, right, for pedestrians to actually walk there. But what happened is that before it was a dirt path, so there was a distinct difference between the road and the walking path. Right now everything is flat and there's one single line there, so there's a lot more swerving coming in, especially from big trucks, because a truck barely fits within that lane, So, and they come around the curve, and there's nothing that tells them to stay within their lane. So there's often swerving in, and there's bikers. There's the people that walk. There are more people that are walking now because the Stanford office is up the road. So there are a lot more people walking up and down and biking.
And going to the back entrance of the dish. I don't know if you're familiar with that. There's the dish. There's an entrance back there, right by, a little bit Piers. Yeah, Piers Lane.
No, I didn't know about
Yeah, it's lovely. It's a mile up, and it's actually prettier than the rest of the other walk. I recommend it.
Okay.
But it's but what we've had the trouble is that we're unincorporated Menlo Park, so we don't really have anybody there to help us.
What are you doing?
Right, but they're like, if we have a problem, we need the police. It's highway patrol that has to come, and they're often dealing with like really serious highway issues that they need to be doing.
Sure.
And they say they're gonna come, and it's like I'll get attention for a day or two, and it's like cars behave themselves when the police are there. The second the police are on, it's a totally different story.
Yep, happens all the time.
And so like what we really need is, first of all, we want Alpine to not be a truck route.
Especially that section of it, because it's so dangerous. There are like 2 turns that are that if it's the first time that you're there, it looks like it's a highway, but as soon as you turn, you see that it's just one lane road. So like they come in at high speed, and then they have to basically slam on the brakes all the time.
Trucks?
Semi
Yeah.
trucks, yes, like very big.
How fast can you go on a semi truck?
Oh, very fast.
Very fast.
Wow.
Yeah, and then sometimes if the bus comes and they have to stop, and then it's like there's been, so like there was a time, Eli, can you say what happened once when we were walking to school, we walked Isaac and Ethan to school, to the bus stop, and then you had to walk home with me and Papa, and what happened? He was a little bit in front of us.
So like a car almost slammed into him, and he had to jump into the bushes.
Yeah, so the car was going too fast,
Yeah.
and so instead of running into the car, it said, oh, let me just move over to where the light path was. We literally had to jump out of the way. If he had been right next to him, he would have been killed.
Wow. Okay.
Our neighbor, who has an 89-year-old grandfather that was visiting, was just walking where he walked every day, and a car decided to do a U-turn, took him out. you know,
He was
and
in the hospital for over 6
Oh wow,
months.
6 months. Wow.
yeah, I mean, and they've settled. They haven't been able to talk about it because there was a big lawsuit.
Yeah,
But he's never been the same. You know, he used to walk 3 miles a day, and now he needs, you know.
yeah.
2 years
That's
ago, two bikers, one after the other, were killed. Remember in that entrance to the
To
280.
It's a very, very dangerous thing. And what happened was, is I say we got wasted. So
Yeah.
before, no one even really knew
Yeah, of
about
course.
us. And then there was construction going on Sand Hill, and
Yeah.
some things going on
Yeah.
Page Mill.
Yeah.
And so then they found, oh, you can go through Alpine, and it's actually quicker.
Sure.
And so what we're asking is that there are no trucks. We want Stanford to help pay for constant police supervision because because what the county tells me is that they need to pay overtime and they don't have the funding for this. We're also told that like we can't we would like signal lights so that we can actually
Yeah.
leave our neighborhood, and what we're told is that we don't have enough people living there to constitute like to follow the laws of having a signal light, but it's like you can't turn left. I mean, and the bus, and if signal lights would really help, because like the bus driver, at one point he pulled on the side of the road, which he preferred.
Yeah.
He puts his stop sign out. Cars would just go around it, which is totally against the law. You're actually supposed to be stopping, you know, in both directions.
Sure.
Cars would go around, and so you know what they thought of doing instead, because no one was listening? They were gonna eliminate the bus stop. They
Oh,
said, no
okay.
one's listening, so let's just eliminate it. And I was just like, and so then actually the neighbors were all mad at me, because
Yeah.
they're like, well, you caused all this attention to this, and now how are we gonna get the kids to school? I say, why don't we make people actually follow the laws and like
Sure.
care about our future generation,
Sure, sure.
you know?
Yeah.
And so now he has to pull in, do this whole thing. Well, now he can't even merge into it. Sometimes he waits 5 minutes before cars will even have a pause for him to merge in, and then he's late. It's causing a lot of trouble. And he actually, his name's Joe, and he said, I want to be able to pull on the side of the road. It's actually safer, you know, because there's all these people pulling into Bishop, pulling out there. I would actually invite you. I know it's not even your jurisdiction to come walk with us to the bus one day. We leave every day at 8:20.
Have you talked to Joe Simidian?
Joe Simidian is aware of this. We should go meet with him, but he has written a couple of op-eds, and he's
Okay.
aware of what's going on. But Stanford is, I think that they potentially are being dishonest about their no new net trips, because that's what they're saying, no new net trips. What I don't think that they're accounting for is like we see so many Uber and Lyft drivers who are doing lots of speeding, and so people so like, oh, I don't have a car, but like they're not getting tallied, they're taking an
Yeah.
Uber Lyft, or people are actually driving closer to campus, not driving on campus,
Sure.
and then taking like the Stanford
Yeah.
shuttle. And so for them to say that there's no new net trips, it's just totally crazy, because you need Amazon packages coming, support staff.
And even during the
facilities,
weekends, we've seen the weekends used to be a lot calmer, but because of the amount of people that are coming into Stanford now, especially Saturday and Sunday morning, it's packed. The back entrance of the dish is packed, and now like even I even have a video of like us having to go around.
Must be terrible on game days as
Oh,
well.
Oh, yeah, no,
That
it's
is even
terrible.
worse.
But we have,
But-
so they put these, so I helped get these barriers put up for the path to make it, and, to make it a little bit safer, but now what people are, they're parking illegally, you know, which needs to be like, again, we need more enforcement, you know?
Just out of curiosity, so why you guys unincorporated? Why not part of Menlo Park or follow them?
I don't know, I mean, I honestly, at this point, I would like to be incorporated so we can get more, like, help.
Right.
So,
So this is the entrance.
so look, see, this is a car that's parked
Yeah.
in the bike lane.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and
Is
now
is that legal parking? Or
No.
No, it's not legal. Okay.
So that's happening all the time now. So like there's no
So now
space for
this
us
is
to
a
go.
curve, cars are going
And
really
nobody,
fast.
nobody enforces the parking.
No.
That's all.
And
Stanford
only
traffic.
enforces CHP.
Look, so I have to
Look.
run quickly. He was saying, "Oh, quick, go! I'm running with a stroller."
See how
See.
close. See
Yeah.
those cars are small, and you see how small the lane is.
Oh.
Like,
what are-
that's
No,
it.
what
so
are-
those are
what
the
are
barriers that I just helped get put
Okay.
in. I mean, by just me and the neighborhoods
Okay.
complaining.
Yeah.
But it's like, but those need to go all the way up to the driveway.
And see if you can imagine, like it already feels very close, right, to
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I
to the
can see that.
pathway, right? But if you can imagine, like when you see a semi truck coming by, and like
Are there no parking? Are there parking signs?
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah.
But it's just not enforced.
right, no one
Ever?
enforces anything. Yeah, never.
Except if I am walking there and I call.
Oh,
Right, and then for like half an hour it'll be, but
I see.
But see, Web Ranch, which is right, it's right up there. So if there's the Christmas tree time and the pumpkin time, it's crazy.
look how close it is. Look,
Yeah.
like it's
So
just there's no.
So
yeah.
does the CHP will come out and enforce?
sometimes.
Sometimes.
But
it
truly-
depends.
We had a near accident in August or September. I called, and then they didn't show up again till like December when I called again. It's like I have to constantly call.
Okay,
Couple more minutes.
okay, right next to me.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you, are you guys closer to Menlo Park or Palo Alto?
Menlo Park.
Menlo Park.
We're kind of in
Okay.
between like Menlo Park and Portola Valley, but then
Okay.
if you drive a little bit more, you're in Palo Alto.
Oh, okay. Well then, I mean, so jurisdiction I can't do too much.
Well,
Although
right.
although Joe Simeon, he lives in Palo Alto, but he's definitely would be the person to talk with about this.
Okay.
He's actually president of the board right now.
Okay.
So he's a good person.
Okay.
There's not too much we can do here, as you guys can imagine, in terms of because we're a different city.
Right, but you can do with Stanford's. You can have
Yeah.
that's more where we're
That-
coming
yeah,
for you.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just more like giving you this background
Yeah,
information,
yeah,
just
I
so you
understand.
know how bad the problem is,
Yeah, yeah,
and that Stanford is not being on the up and up about
yeah.
about what's
The
really
amount of
happening.
traffic that is
Yeah.
happening there.
Yeah. Well, they should be. Do you guys participate in their GUP, the general
Oh,
permit?
we go to all those. We go to
Okay.
those meetings. I write letters. I mean, I wrote
Okay.
this. It's just like one of the regular letters I wrote, and then like you got in touch with me and invited me to come talk to you.
Okay, good. So you've been involved.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is because I don't know if you guys could consider try to be part of Menlo Park, right, or Portola Valley, right?
I mean, that's gonna get, the thing is, I mean, we have a lot of hippies who are
Oh.
strongholds, and I'm sure I need to have a more thorough understanding of what all of that would entail,
Yeah.
and the good and bad, because there must
Yeah.
be some drawbacks. I don't know what they are.
I don't have. I
I don't
have
know.
no idea. Yeah.
I mean, it might be around like
Yeah.
housing codes, you need to get more, there's
Oh,
more,
could be, yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, it
which
could
are-
be. It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you have more local representation, right?
Absolutely.
So I don't know how much airtime you guys get from Santa Clara, like when you ask for stuff in Santa Clara County.
Right, I mean, we're in San Mateo County.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I don't think
Oh.
we get any airtime at
Oh,
all.
then you shouldn't talk to Joe Smith. Wow. So I don't know who you should talk to.
I
then.
guess Jackie Spear is
Jackie
my,
Spear, yeah, that's
yeah.
right. That's right. Yeah.
You've
you're
written to her
right.
before?
I've written,
He's written to everyone.
I
Okay.
mean, I kind of call people,
Okay.
I try to make 5 phone calls a day about different issues, but they're usually more on the national level.
Yeah.
But-
So is the bus station across from here, or where is the bus station?
It's right up, we don't have to cross the street,
Okay.
so it's on Bishop Lane.
It's on Bishop.
Yeah.
So, up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but, so we don't
Yeah.
have to cross. But what I'm asking is that for you to try to channel your inner Roosevelt, President Roosevelt, who was an absolute visionary in like putting land aside for the national parks,
Sure,
right?
sure.
And it's like Stanford, I know, has a long range vision and things, and I really think that Stanford needs to be thinking like, this is a really unique community, and we need to preserve what this community is like. There is a way for them to actually have a walking path that would be totally away from cars. It'd be encroaching on the golf course, which there's a fire lane that goes back there. It goes around that, it connects to the dish. It could be absolutely amazing and a very beautiful benefit to the community. And that's what I would like think about creative ways to do this. And also, how can we preserve this neighborhood?
Yeah.
Which, because, I mean, we don't want it to look like
Yeah.
cookie cutter things. And
Yeah.
we need to be thinking not in the next couple of years, but
Yeah.
like 50 years down the
You guys
line.
can form your own city too. That's the other way. But that's why cities form, is because they're trying to get enough, political representation, right?
Form our own city.
Yeah. Call it
I don't
something
know what
else.
that calls, but I can do that.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I know. No, seriously, right? The reason I say that is I was so I've been on council for about a little bit over a year now, and so when I first got on council, I went to the city council training program, and I didn't realize it, but there's like 500 cities in in California, 500 cities. I mean, so I'm like,
It's a lot.
who would have guessed, right? I didn't even know there's so there's a lot of cities, and some cities are tiny, like some cities are like 100 people. It's like shocking. It's like, that's a city, so, or a town, right? So, I'm not sure. How big is your community?
I think it's about 250 people.
Oh, you might be a
250, yeah, so maybe it's maybe more than that, yeah.
you guys would be a mid-sized city, right?
Right.
So maybe like, I mean, that's the other
I
thing,
mean,
right?
how do you get funding and all that
You
stuff?
have to tax everyone, right? Everyone has to kind of buy into it, and
Mhm.
but that's the other thing, right? Just because when you're an individual, your voice is only so
So
loud.
if
right?
so if you were your own city, then could we say we're putting traffic lights on even though we don't have enough people that follow the normal laws? Of,
I
Well,
think
you have
the road.
you'd probably be too small to have your own police department, so you'd have to contract out from like for instance, Stanford contracts out to Palo Alto for fire, right?
Mhm.
So if you're not big enough, you guys wouldn't be big enough with 250 people
Right.
to have your own.
There might be 250 houses, so it might
Right,
be more,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. There you go. So that's one way, right?
Mhm.
Or the other thing is Menlo Park's going to districts, right? So the other thing to do is become a new district of Menlo Park. Be
Mhm.
part of Menlo Park and have a new district and have your own representation.
Mhm.
But that's actually really important because the problem is if you just as an individual, your
Yeah,
voice
right.
is never loud enough, right?
Right,
That's a great idea.
right.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
time.
I mean, we do have our loud rabble rousers here.
Yeah, and organizing
Yeah.
is really important because if you want to, because you know the thing is that there's so many things competing for people's time,
Mhm.
and if you want to get things done, you have to
Mhm.
kind of organize.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go as far as what I was saying, annexing or
Mhm.
forming a city, but
Yeah.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
though.
forming a neighborhood association, getting, trying to, so like in Palo Alto, we don't have formal neighborhoods, but a lot of, like in my neighborhood, it's called College Terrace. It's kind of informal and
Mm-hmm. We
like-
used to live in College Terrace on
Oh,
Stanford Avenue,
okay,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. So you get a little bit more, the voice is a little bit louder, right?
Right.
Okay.
Listen, for your own organizing, our protest sign making app is called Walk Woke.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's available on the App Store,
Walk
and you
Woke,
can
okay. I should
basically
check
they
it
have,
out.
they have templates, so it's like that
Okay,
artwork,
that's cool.
and then the children
Uh-huh.
decided to write those
Okay.
messages,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
and you can make whatever
Excellent.
message you want, and then you can
So it's called
Walk Woke, all one word.
walk, like woke up.
Like I'm
Yeah,
woke,
okay.
yeah, and you can decide whatever message and then
Okay.
save it on your social media or print it out.
Yeah, well, that's really cool.
Alright, so since you're doing Facebook Live, can we do a selfie with you?
Sure, of course.
Alright.
No
Guys,
problem.
come over here.
Actually,
Oh, you can.
Well,
do
you
it.
can
I can also take a photo if you want.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Poor Isla's must slept through the whole meeting.
No problem.
1, 2, 3. Can I also get a photo of this so we can?
Oh,
You want to post this on our Facebook page? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good job.
All right.
Hey,
Well, thank you,
Thank you.
Congressman Tanaka.
Yeah.
No, this is
Shake
great.
hands.
These were very good ideas. Thank you very much.
And your
Hey,
phone.
glad you guys are involved. Stay involved.
For
Make
coming.
more signs. That's awesome.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and if you can bring our